Let's talk to a bloke that was one of the great surf athletes. He used to be big on a surfo plane down at Kura when he was a boy. His name is Harold the Peacock. He's our Ipswich historian. Now, I've been telling you about the story that it's a chemist. Well, it's actually a Bavel farmer that had to sell his teeth, and there's some connection with Dovercourt. And don't forget the Toowong's Hidden Treasure and Its People by Harold Peacock, the Dovercourt book. It's a really good book. Dovercourt is in Toowong. You can get that by going to historyouthere.com. Historyouthere.com. What's the name again, young man? It's historyouthere.com, you silly old bludger. All right, let's talk to Harold. Hello, Harold.
Hey, Danny. How young? Hello, how you doing?
Oh, mate, you're the Harold. Even in my, when I put it on Facebook, it's Harold H. A-R-K Peacock.
People are calling me that when they see me in the street.
You're a funny man. That's Spark Dog. You keep your noise down, will you?
That's brilliant.
Now, let's tell us about the Bavel farmer who sold his teeth for something. Not for sex, I hope.
Look, well, it's about a convict from Liverpool who was transported to Australia in 1850. Now, one of his offences was stealing some cash, but his real talent may have been throwing a curse.
Right.
His name was Stephen Thomas,
right.
And in 1858, he was given his ticket of leave here at Ipswich.
Right.
Now, back in England, he'd worked as a seaman, and like all good sailors, he had some impressive tattoos.
Right.
One was a fully rigged ship under sail on his chest. Now, his convict record also noted that his chest and his arms and legs were particularly hairy.
Right.
Now, he actually got in a bit of trouble because he skipped muster, so he was a league at large for a while. But skipping muster and his body hair couldn't have been too bad, because in 1863 he got married here at Ipswich and went on to have 3 children. And that's when he started to move out.
Mate, I heard he worked as a carpet.
Well, are you multi-talented? Because things started to go wrong for him, right? For the poor little hairy farmer. Because in 1870... he was charged at Ipswich's Police Magistrates Court with stealing dueling pistols.
Right.
But the charges later dropped for fear of something, I don't know. But the next year, in 1871, things got worse when he was declared insolvent. Now, first, all of Stephen's horses, dray, harness, cow and calf and household furniture, they were all sold and rented back to him. The following year, more of his property was sold, which was alleged to have included his clothes and 4 of his teeth. Now, and look, that was denied by the auctioneer, but it appears that a curse may have been involved at that stage, and that's because both of the key people involved in selling Stephen's property, they both fell from grace in a big way. Now, the auctioneer was William Hendren. Now, Hendren was one of the founding fathers of Ipswich. He'd been on the committee that established the first council, was later a councillor himself. He was Ipswich's first registrar of births, deaths and marriages. He had a general store in town there, and he was a magistrate in the Ipswich Court. He was also a member, or the member, for Bundamba in the Queensland Legislative Assembly.
Wow.
But just a few years after he allegedly sold off Stephen's teeth, Hendren himself was declared insolvent and was forced to resign from Parliament in disgrace. Now, the lawyer who managed Stephen's estate and so ordered the sale was William Miskin. Now, Miskin was later a partner.
Miskin rode at Toowong.
Exactly right. Because Miskin, look, he was later a partner in one of Brisbane's leading law firms in Brisbane, Miskin, McPherson and Fees. He was the president of both the Royal Society and Geographical Society. He was on the board of the Queensland Museum, and he was the inaugural president of the Shire of Toowong, and that's how he got Miskin Street, like you say, named after him.
Yeah.
But then he also had a stack of butterflies named after him, including the famous Miskin Blue, which you would know about.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a beautiful blue. It's around here in southeast Queensland. But
It is.
Miskin's world, that also came tumbling down. Because he had become overly familiar with his young Irish domestic servant. He was caught by his wife, and Miskin then vanished, which made headlines around Australia.
Dirty bludger. Was he doing the dirty on his wife?
Well, it seems that way.
So did they ever find him?
Well, what actually happened was he took off to the other side of the world with his servant, and she was 6 months pregnant at the time, and didn't reappear until 3 years later to face music and public disgrace, because he never achieved the levels he was at before. But Danny, the full story of William Miskin is told in my book Dovercourt, because that's where he lived at Toowong.
Was he that rich?
Oh, he was top of society. Everyone wanted to party at his house and be in his presence, including, I guess, his domestic servant.
I wonder how that domestic servant got pregnant.
You wonder how she got pregnant?
Well, it's just basic biology, isn't it?
And
yeah, but I guess
well, I heard that auction for the teeth was held at 2:30.
Oh, mate!
Well, it could have been, but I haven't actually been able to find out what happened to the owner of the teeth, the convict Stephen Thomas.
Yeah.
He may have been the Stephen Thomas who lived to be 96 years old, but I can't really be sure. But, I hope it was, because if his teeth really were sold, I hope he deserved it. He did deserve to live a long life, didn't he?
Yeah, it's just such a convoluted story. A Harry Bevell farmer who worked as a carpet, who sold his teeth and took his young mistress off over, someone got her pregnant, came back, and the wife, I bet you she hit him with the handbag.
Gee, Danny, you've nailed that story. You got it exactly right there.
Yeah, well,
Stephen Thomas, the Ipswich convict.
Well, I've been on radio for a long time. It's called Word Economy, but you tell the best yarns. HistoryOutThere.com. Don't forget you can buy this book, Dover Court Toowong's Hidden Treasure and Its People. It really is a great read, and we love your stories. You should be on Channel 9. Get onto this bloke. He can tell some great yarns. And the mayor should be engaging with you and doing stuff for a book. That's what I think, at 8:19.
Yeah, that's right. Well, you've got to stick up for the Ipswich people who lost their teeth.
Yeah.
Right.
And they're hairy.
Yeah.
8:19, West Bremer Radio.